It is over.
Wait, October 31st?
Yes, the finals will be on Halloween.
God.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they're only doing it the weekend.
Yeah. Halloween. Well, yeah, I guess we.
Yeah. Well, because they usually give players like at least 2 weeks to like get used to sleep schedule, boot camp a little bit.
Yeah.
Practice the meta. Scrim.
They're still playing on the same patch that they're doing on playoffs.
They'll be 10.19. 10.19 is the official world patch.
How do you think their hotels are going to be?
Shit, who knows? I mean, it's China.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be streaming this, I think, and then the government's going to be knocking on the door.
They already did that.
Did they really?
Yeah, I think it was a European player was streaming, and then midstream he was taken down. He was like, "Can I not do this?" Like the hotel people like came knocking on his door, like, "Can I not do this?" Oh, okay. Well, I guess guys, it's done for today, and then he stopped streaming.
Yeah,
it was either like hotel didn't allow him or like government. I don't know if it's government, but like
I really don't know how housing works for Worlds.
Yeah.
I would imagine they get like not just a hotel, but like an actual house or whatever.
Yeah, they're players, they're stars, right?
Right.
You'd be surprised. Like some of the team housing, or I guess it was back then, but they're just like
some of the team housing wasn't. Are we recording, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Art of Running It Down, your favorite league podcast, where we just talk about things that are happening in the esports world, as well as running it down.
Yeah.
Because we're all very adept at that. Of course, I'm still here, Mason, and I'm still joined by Paul and Alexis. And we're going to talk, of course, the world's draw for the group stage just happened. So we're going to talk about that as well as some other major esports news, especially around the league community.
So what are they drawing?
So the draws-ins happened yesterday, and it's for the play-in stages, which is where wildcard teams and then the lowest seeded from 3 major regions, NA, EU, and China, go to basically say that they deserve to go to be in the group stage for Worlds. It's kind of like the group stage before the group stage, if that makes any sense. So major favorites here are obviously Mad Lions, the 4th seed from Europe, LGD, and Team Liquid. Obviously, all 3 teams are from major regions. But there are some other teams that people have been looking at. Supermassive has been here, done that before. They are a very experienced team. Ints I believe they're from Brazil. Yeah, they're a Brazilian team. Again, same thing. And Unicorns of Love, who used to be an EU team and then moved to Russia to play in their league. But nothing's really spectacular here. It's kind of Team Liquid, Mad Lions, LGD, and whoever else. Because only 2 teams come out from these 2 groups. So again, Mad and Team Liquid are the prohibitive favorites in here, as well as LGD and probably Unicorns of Love of their group. And then those 2, and then there'll be some best of 5s between the other teams. And then the top 2 teams from each of these groups will advance to the actual group stage.
Oh, wow. And you said a Brazilian team was in the top?
Yes. Ints, and then I believe
that's a good name
Ints.
for a Brazilian team.
Because I'm sure they're going to do a lot of that in the game. Do a lot of inting.
They're really up there in the competition?
Well, right now they're all tied. It's not really like ranked.
Oh, okay.
Like it's because everyone's 0-0.
Okay, I thought it was color coded by the best.
Well, it is color coded. So this, I believe, if you win your group, you automatically go. Yeah. And then, if you're last, you...
So Ints is going?
Well, right now, if everyone was 0-0, then if we go alphabetical order, yes.
They have a good chance of going, unless they change the name.
They have a good chance. Everyone here at the Art of Running It Down will be rooting for Ints.
Yeah, just wait till they're playing on NA servers, man.
Oh, man. And then if you're last in the group, you are eliminated. Yeah. You don't have a chance. 3 and 4 will play best of 5 to play 2, and then the winner of that goes on to the group stage. So that's how I actually really like the format. Because before it was kind of like, just the top 2 teams played each other in a best of 5. The winners would go on and be like 4 groups of 4. And that wasn't really fair to a lot of the wildcard teams because they'd always get like major region in their group, and it'll be like, well, the major region better win.
Yeah.
I mean, so I really like this for the wildcard teams. Give them a chance, to
For sure.
show
Yeah.
themselves off a little bit.
Absolutely.
Not just get smashed immediately.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well, in Group B, LGD's pretty much going to probably run through every team because they are a Chinese team, and everyone else is from a not Chinese region. But
They got other things to worry about.
right, stepping back from that, obviously the group draw happened yesterday as well. Again, everything's in alphabetical order on the site that we're looking at. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm going to give a quick rundown of every team in here. Group A will be G2 Esports, the 1 seed from Europe, Sunning Gaming from the 3rd seed from China, and then Machi Esports, which I'm going to be honest, I have no idea where they're from.
Machi. Let's put it together here.
Yes.
Mongolian?
Potentially. Group B will have Danwon, the 1 seed from Korea, JD Gaming, the 2 seed from China, and Rogue Gaming, the 3rd seed from Europe. Group C will have everyone's favorite North American team, Team Solo Mid,
Yeah.
as the 1 seed from North America. Fnatic, the 2 seed from Europe, and Genji, the 3 seed from Korea. In Group D, we have Top Esports, the 1 seed from China, DragonX, the 2 seed from Korea, and FlyQuest, the 3rd seed from North America.
I have a
Rest in
question.
peace.
Go ahead.
What does Gen G stand for?
That is a very good question.
What does Fanatics stand for?
Yeah, man. I figure they're gaming fanatics, They're
You
like...
know,
I'll give you that.
I will not question.
They're junkies for
I,
the game.
I will not question the origin of Genji's name, because lore.
Lore? Oh, okay.
But
Hyper nerds.
so, do we have any kind of reactions initially to these group draw? Is one team just giga doomed, like just from the start?
Well, yeah. Well, we talked a bit about it. Me and Mason talked a bit about it before Paul arrived, and you are very adamant on FlyQuest is not making it out, and
Well, yes.
Group D is already decided. No matter what playing
Yes.
team comes in.
No matter what happens, Group D is already decided because Top Esports is probably a top 1 or 2 teams in the world. So they are either the first or the next best team. And then DragonX is a top 5 team in the world. And then we have FlyQuest.
Who you thought was gonna do well
I
before
did.
LCS finals, but then
Last episode, I did say that I liked FlyQuest odds. I didn't like their odds, but I said that they would perform the best in Worlds. And now they get Genji. They don't get Genji, I'm sorry. They get Top Esports and DragonX, who are 2 of the favorites going into Worlds. Also, for those who don't know, the way that the World groups work is that 2 teams from the same region can't be in the same group. So you can't have 2 Chinese teams, 2 Korean teams. So for the to-be-determined slots, we can already sort of figure out where teams are going. Obviously, Group C, like I said, there's no Chinese team. So if LGD manages to get out, they will slot into this slot for Group C. But what I will say is that these groups are not as bad as I thought they would be.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is I thought that we were going to have teams like JD, DragonX, and like Genji, and maybe even Fnatic spread out more in these groups. Danwon, again, is another prohibited favorite because they are just stupid good.
Prohibitive favorite?
Prohibitive.
Yeah.
JD is another really good team here at Worlds. I accidentally clicked on the thing. Get back up. And I thought that we were going to see maybe JD in like a group like with Group A, because G2 is obviously the Worlds finalist from last year, and they're with a wild card team and a team that has never been to Worlds. And
They're going to pull it out.
And they can't get a Korean team or a Chinese team, so they're most likely going to get either the other wild card or Team Liquid.
The only group that seems to me like anyone has a chance of winning would be getting out is Group C,
Right.
which they're not going to be like the most epic games, but I think they're going to be like the most.
It's going to be the most exciting group.
Yes, most like where either one has a chance, unless Team Solo Mid just decides they're gonna do what they do at World's Best and just go 0-2 and just lose every game. But
Right.
I don't know. I was feeling kind of hopeful for them after the finals at LCS, so I'm definitely excited to see what comes out of Group C.
Yes, and we will definitely talk about that game, the NALCS finals. But what I will say though is that there are some teams here that are just doomed, so doomed. Like FlyQuest, like you say, it's just doomed because there was no way. And I believe we talked about this last time. I said there's a chance that we will see Jackie Love versus Wild Turtle. And here we go. We get Jackie Love versus Wild Turtle. And Knight, who is maybe the best mid in the world, like it's power of evil. Like, it's so doomed for FlyQuest. Also, Rogue's kind of boned in the same sense.
Even some, I think it was a mid laner on Twitter, admitted that they have a very low chance of getting out of world or groups.
Oh yeah, I mean you're gonna get Danwon, JD, who again are 2 top 5 teams in there, and then maybe even Team Liquid. Team Liquid could probably still get into Group B because again Group
There's
A.
no NA team.
Yeah, no NA teams in the other Group A or B. Speaking of Team Liquid, they better hope and pray they get Group A if they get slotted in there. Because if they get Group A, they have a really good shot of getting out. Because G2 probably going to win that group. You know what I mean? They're the world's finalists last year. They're EU's champion.
Right.
And Machi and Sunning, we just don't know. Right? Machi's a wildcard team. You know, we don't know how good they are.
Mongolian team.
Right. Sunning has never been to Worlds. A lot of their players have not been to Worlds.
Noob team.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely, even if they are like well performing, there's always that expectation of those nerves that get to you that just might end up screwing you over at the end.
Right, but if they get in Group B, they're doomed. Because there's no way they're beating Danwon and JD Gaming, because Danwon's just going to run them over. But yes, what happened? Never mind. I do agree that Group C is probably going to be the best group here, because it can go any way.
Yeah, and that's not to say that whoever comes out of Group C has the best chance of winning Worlds. It's just the games are more exciting.
Right, because when you look at Group C, and you know, I'm just going to assume that you know LGD gets in here too. You know, it looks like you know really even TSM. If TSM plays the way that they have been playing, I mean they could steal some games and you know make a run here, but. You know, you get Fnatic, who's, again, has been to Worlds almost every year, and has made it out of the group stage a lot of times.
Oh, yeah.
Gen G, who has plenty of players who have been to even the World Finals. I think Ruler, and I think one other player. I'm not too sure. But Gen G has been there, done that. You know, LGD, they're... You know, I know they're the 4th seed from China, but you know they're still a really, really active team and a really good team. So you know, Group C is going to be really interesting to watch. Plus, it's just really sad as a Fnatic fan that every single year we get one of the hardest groups to get out of. Because last year we had SKT and RNG, who were 2 of the favorites to win Worlds. The year before we had Invictus Gaming, who won Worlds, and then we had who else? I think we had 100 Thieves, and some I don't remember, but we had a hard group there too. So, you know, but
Fnatic's just a team to knock out. You know, they're always going to be there, but they're not going to make it.
Right. I mean, right. Fnatic has been out of groups like 4 times. I think, in their 10 years or 4 or 5 years, and then they only made it past quarterfinals twice.
Like
Yeah.
G2, they're one of the more consistent
Right,
European teams.
Fnatic's very consistent. But what I will say is that, also, for those who don't know, the way that the quarterfinals work is that the 1 seed from each group will always play a 2 seed, right? And then if you're 2 teams from the same group cannot be on the same side of the bracket. So let's say G2 is on side A, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sunning, let's say they get out. Sunning can't be on side A. Sunning has to go to side B, right? So if you're a 2 seed, you better hope and pray you get the winner of like Group C. Because you're going to be playing against Danwon, Top Esports, or G2. Dear God.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna win worlds, you gotta be the best of the best. So
Right.
you're gonna face them eventually.
Right,
but-
you're gonna have to face them, but I would much rather want to face the winner of Group C to improve my odds
Yeah.
of making it.
Yeah.
Because then I don't have to. Because like, there's a chance that Top and Danwon are in the same side of the bracket, right? So let's say you somehow, let's say you're, I don't know, let's say Team Liquid
Mhm.
makes it out of groups for the first time ever. And their long history, they finally make it out of groups.
Let's give them benefit of the doubt.
Right. So if they would have to play, let's say they have to play Danwon, and let's say they somehow upset Danwon, and they have to play Top, then they would have to play Top Esports. So you'd have to probably knock out Team 1 and Team 2 in terms of the favorites for Worlds. And if you do that, you're probably going to win Worlds.
Yes.
So, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But more than likely, you're probably going to get eliminated by Top Esports or Danwon. But I am still very excited for this. And even then, the pool of mid laners for this Worlds is just so good. It's such a good pool.
Mhm.
You have, obviously, Caps from G2. You have Showmaker and I don't Yao Gao. I haven't watched Yao Gao, maybe, but you have Showmaker, Caps, Nemesis, BDD, Bjergsen, Chovy, and Knight. And you have Jensen still. You have Larson, Humanoid. Like, there's a lot of great mid laners that we're gonna see.
Who do you think, like, champion-wise, are we going to see mid lane a lot in the game?
So right now in the game, at least in pro play, Akali. I know Akali just got nerfed, but she's probably still going to be played. Akali's been played a lot.
Yeah.
Akali has been played a ton in the mid lane.
Yeah,
Safe
I
pick.
played 3 games last night. I actually ran into 3 Akali's mid lane.
Right, exactly.
Either
Like-
on my team or on the other team.
Right, like Akali has been, and what's awesome about that is like Akali is such a high skill expression. If you're a good Akali, like you're gonna be able to do some things, to put it lightly, right?
Yeah.
And to see players like Showmaker and Caps and BDD, Chovy, Knight just constantly get this Akali pick and just destroy teams with her is just so much fun to watch. Especially because I think another pick that we're going to see a lot of is LeBlanc.
Mm.
Oh.
Okay.
And LeBlanc's another very high skill cap kind of this burst
yeah.
assassin. I mean, I know Caps has a ridiculous LeBlanc because, he played it all the time against Fnatic and just kind of ran through us in some games. But he has a ridiculous LeBlanc. I know Showmaker's still a really good LeBlanc. Bjergsen and Jensen have a really good LeBlanc.
Yeah, as well.
Just please, NA, don't pick Zillion. Don't pick
I'd say a
Zillion.
much better safe pick for not Zillion, but Orianna will probably see
Yeah,
a lot.
we're gonna see a
Orianna's
ton
a
of
very
Orianna.
safe pick against Akali and Assassin, just
Yeah.
because she could build Seraph, and then she has her shield, so she could still protect it.
Yeah,
and she's a great team fighter.
I think Orianna's
Yeah.
probably like the strongest champion in the game right now.
Because of the big ball damage?
Right, because she's super safe in lane. She has such good utility, and she's the best team fighter in the game with Shockwave.
Yeah,
I mean, a big Shockwave just turns an entire team fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's surprisingly a lane bully. Once you get, a lost chapter in your themes, like, you start pumping out some damage.
Especially against, like,
other mages.
Or mid lane.
Especially, like...
against a Kali or something
like
that. You
against
could
a
just
Kali, you can constantly bully her out. Like, even against the Blanc.
Yeah.
I mean, you can constantly just kite back and forth.
Even that slippery bitch, you can just, like, throw the ball at her and, like, take her out.
Absolutely.
Even if she blows her... little teleport thing.
Yeah, her distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you make someone blow that, then you essentially won lane.
Like you've congratulations, you won the lane.
Bam.
Like so, I think we're gonna see a lot of Orianna. I've seen Lucian mid a lot too.
Yeah, those AD carry, those AD carry mid lanes they're kind of just good flex picks because Lucian goes everywhere.
Yeah,
I don't think you really see him AD carry.
Yeah, then that's the thing. You see him everywhere, but AD carry because AD carries. It's a lot of Caitlyn. It's a lot of Senna. It's a lot of Ashe.
Lucian's not gonna.
And they abuse range. They abuse range and poke. And Lucian's like, I'm the shortest range AD carry in the game. And then I'm gonna dash on. No.
I'm gonna dash into a Caitlyn trap. Oh, I'm dead.
I'm dead. I know, but I want to see what I want to see is I want to see teams combo Shen, Hecarim. I don't know. It's like almost impossible to get these three, but like if you can get Shen, Hecarim, Orianna, because that's such a disgusting combo.
Yeah.
Because you just put the ball on Hecarim. Once he ults in, you all them together, and Shen's pocketing the Hecarim with Stand United.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you're basically just funneling Hecarim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the bot lane just pick whatever. Like, who cares? We won the game.
You get Ashe, you arrow someone, Hecarim kills them.
They could play, you could play Twitch Bard. Like, I don't care. Like, just play whatever you want. But I definitely don't think we're going to see a ton of attention on bot lane games because I think the bot lane right now is just kind of you guys do your own thing.
It's very much
Ashe.
Ashe and Senna because they both have global ults.
Yeah,
because Senna's can hit anywhere.
Like
on the map.
unless you're Caitlyn, the only thing that we're seeing out of bot lane is like you're just there for utility. Mm-hmm. Ashe is good ulti, Senna good ulti and good healing. And the only reason Jhin is played is because he provides a slow with his ulti.
Which this is fucking weird, right? Like
right.
The bot lane, like I feel like 8 months ago, it was all about the massive damage they could deal out.
It's all Felios, Ezreal, Senna.
Yeah. And just now, super big damage.
Yeah, and now it's a lot of utility.
Utility out of the damage carries.
Yeah. Right. Well, the thing is, Ashe still provides a lot of damage in team fights with Q, with the amount of DPS you can poke out. Caitlyn's just the strongest laner in the bot lane right now because her headshot does a ton of damage, like level 1.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Senna's just
and every now and again, I think it was in Europe. But I don't know if it was the finals, but every now and again we'll see like Kalista who would provide a lot of damage and she can carry the game if she's allowed to the point of getting those
Kalista's
3 items.
Really picked in lanes where it's like, they picked Senna. Okay, I can lock in Kalista because Kalista has a pretty good laning phase to answer the Senna because Senna wants to sit back and scale, get her souls up, get her mana immune charged, and so she can start ramping up. And Kalista's very, in your face, constantly fighting with her support. So I think we're going to see a lot of that. I think we'll see.
I hope we do.
Yeah, I hope we do. I hope we get explosive games that are just absolute clown fiestas. Everyone's just fighting every single minute.
I want some bizarre picks.
Not talking about. We're moving on to like the support lanes. We focusing more on like European and LCS, or from what I've seen, the casters just really hate when you pick Braum because he's the type of support where you're just not doing anything. And what really surprised me, I don't know if it's a pick in LCK or China, but in Team Solo Mid versus FlyQuest, they did pick that Pantheon support. What did you think about that?
So I have seen one of my friends who's, I believe he's a CSL player for University of Houston, and they're kind of like he's not the varsity, but he's on like their star league. Mm-hmm. He's been spamming a bunch of Pantheon, Which, by the way, if we want to get him on the show eventually,
Yeah.
I will definitely let him know.
Someone who spams Pantheon for sure.
Yes. Well, he's kind of like a semi-pro college athlete kind of esports player.
Does he belong in running it down?
Believe me, I duel with him a lot. He most certainly belongs in this.
Yeah,
he
it doesn't
most
matter what
certainly-
rank you are, man.
Yeah.
You can still run it down.
Yes.
It just takes one game.
It just takes one game, and you're
That one
officially
GG easy.
you're indoctrinated in this podcast. It's just after one game.
Hell yeah.
But he's been spamming Pantheon support because you do a ton of early damage compared to a lot of supports with your empowered W. Plus, I think you take press the attack because I think your AD carries benefit from the press the attack proc. So their auto attacks now deal more damage to the target. Yes. The problem with Pantheon is that he has negative scaling.
Yeah.
Like if the game goes past 30 minutes, it's doomed.
Yeah.
Useless.
Yeah,
There.
he's gonna press W, stun someone to die.
Yeah.
But he's definitely really good for those early, like if you want to play Caitlyn or
Like
even
the Kalista matchup. Then
Kalista,
like, you just
yeah.
wanna,
dude,
you just
that'd be
wanna scale.
annoying.
yeah. But if I see like Braum or Tom Kench, like it's so I hate Tom Kench right now. He is so bad. Like
Yeah, they even nerfed his
He doesn't-
ulti. Where like his ulti is not
He's
completely
my
global.
favorite,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, like Tom Kench before was like okay, like he was good, but now he's like I just eat the AD carry and apply a slow every now and then.
Yeah, that's always been
Other than that, I'm useless in lane.
Mhm.
Like, and that's especially with like Pantheon and Thresh. Thresh is right now probably the best support in the game
Yeah. I
because
feel like Thresh has always been a good support, no,
Like,
no matter what.
Always solid. Always
yes,
solid.
people are answering Tom Kench with Blitzcrank, and we're seeing more Morgana,
love
like
Blitzcrank.
Rakan, like we're seeing playmaking support. We even saw some Pike. The teams are finding answers to the Braum and Tom Kench, and they just don't do anything in lane.
Yeah.
There's such reactionary supports when supports need to be proactive and move with their mid and jungle to create plays around the map.
Yeah, especially like during these professional games, you definitely see most of the time the support's not even with the AD carry. They're
Yeah,
just
like
roaming around with the jungle,
Yeah.
and
Like
they're
you're like in
getting
China
things,
and
yeah.
supports walking mid at level 3, burning burning the mid laner's flash. Like
tower diving mid lane and like
yeah, like and then 2 minutes later, all 5 members just end up mid. Like
Yep. Running them down.
yeah, like and then they dive him and get a kill, and it's like oh well, that's China.
Yeah. Well,
And then the game's over.
that's how the game's gonna be now, right?
Yeah, and like, and so I just don't want to see any of these supports picked as champions because, especially, and again, like, you can still pick Nautilus,
Oh, man.
Pantheon, Thresh, Blitzcrank, Morgana, Rakan, like,
Yeah, like on Clash, like whenever I play Clash with my friends, like Nautilus is like a first pick.
No, you always
you
pick-
just fucking.
oh yeah, if you're playing Clash,
He's a permaban for me.
if you're playing Clash and you have a support that doesn't really play, just play Nautilus.
Yeah, it's such an easy like
It's so
you hook in someone.
It's so free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His Q hitbox is insane. Like, you can't miss it.
He's a big tough boy too.
And if you miss it, you deserve to be reported. Like,
He's an easier blitzcrank.
yes, he really is.
Hey, what do you guys think of being able to report like in the pregame lobby?
Oh, I love it. I think
What?
I think that's a really good change.
Dude, I got reported last night because me and my friend went Darius Mundo bot. Like he said immediately, report. You guys are trolling.
I mean, I certainly do think that some people don't like. I think if you're just trolling and you're having fun, I don't think that's reportable.
Yeah, there's a difference between there's a difference between trolling and having fun. If you're playing a normal game and you're doing that type of stuff,
It was flex.
then that's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
but if you're playing
Flex
like
is the normal games of ranked.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Like, I've seen.
But even if I was in solo duo, like I understand, like, doing that stuff, being reported for doing stuff like that. That's probably kind of dumb.
Yeah.
The way I always view it is like, if you know what you're doing if you're playing Darius Mundo bot,
Yeah.
and you know what you're doing, and you
We won the lane.
Even if you don't, even if
you win the
don't-
game.
No, he fed. He fed though. That the Ivern that was complaining, dude. He fed
Oh, he's
his
playing
ass
Ivern.
off.
Dude.
Yeah,
You should have reported him for playing Ivern.
1727 trash.
Yeah,
man.
like, and again, like, if you know what you like, I never report people for that because I'm like, you know what, they probably know something that I don't. You know what I mean? And you know what?
Yeah.
if they feed, I'm gonna report them after the game because you know what? That's probably better. But I think it's good for like because a lot of times like you'll be hovering build games. I was like hovering Yone in Flex. I know like my team will just literally intentionally ban it. I'm like,
so you don't play Yone?
I'm like, why'd you ban Yone? Like I'm first pick Yone. Like there's literally no way anyone else can get it. Yeah. But like, and that happens, and like, I'll probably send a little passive aggressive report to them. But like, I don't think it's bad. I mean, it was a change that probably needed to happen.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Think so?
But more importantly, Riot just needs to fix their reporting system to be good.
Bring the tribunal back.
Yeah, whatever they need to do, because the thing is, it's so. Like right now in the game, it's like people can get away. I understand if you have a bad game. I mean, like everyone has a bad game. You know what I mean? I have bad games, but you feed your ass off, and you keep going.
Yeah.
Like that's what I don't understand. Like I'll be playing and someone will make a bad play. I was like, oh, you ran it down. Like obviously, like I don't mean like you're running it down, but there are times when people will run it down.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. And
nothing will happen to them.
Or they'll just AFK once they die twice, and they're like, all right, dead lane, I'm dead. I'm done.
That's some bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
if they AFK, that's stupid.
No,
but if they keep trying, even if they're like 1-14, and they keep trying, I'm okay with
and
it.
They're saying
like they're telling you like in chat is like, hey, this is bad games. Like I'm not having.
Like I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm like, you know what? It's a bad game.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I'm probably a little.
We all have those bad games.
And I'm like, you know what? It's a bad game. Yeah. Like, and even then, I appreciate people that do it and don't say anything. Like, don't, because there are times where like it'll be like something will happen. Like Darius will somehow get solo. Like this actually happened. Darius somehow got solo killed top lane. He teleports back, dies again because the jungler just showed up. You know what I mean? Because he didn't understand that jungler's path from bot side to top side most games. And then he just started flaming our jungler, and I was like, why are you flaming our jungler? Our jungler is literally like doing drag, doing other things. Like they are completely on the other side of the and just left the game. I'm like,
no, he needs to babysit me.
Yeah, like that's probably the biggest thing that I despise. That's why I don't play jungle. Because I hate like I'm doing dragon, I'm getting vision, I'm tracking the jungler, and they're trying to like, why are you camping me? I'm like, because it's Aatrox and he already has 4 kills. Like, do you want me to give him another one?
Jung diff.
Yeah, then they'll just say jung diff. I'm like, okay, I'm like 3 levels up on him.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
3 levels, sorry. Like,
man, I'm getting flamed even though I'm like 4-3 and like top lane 1-4, and they're like, dude,
oh yeah,
Jung sucks dick.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of sucking, the NALCS finals happened, and to all the TSM fans out there that have been living in misery.
I just came back this season, so
past couple of years, your retribution has finally happened.
TSM hype train.
TSM has won North America after beating Team Liquid in 5 games and then FlyQuest in 5 games.
Yeah.
Obviously, TSM almost got, I think, reverse swept by FlyQuest.
They did, which was kind of on edge. One of my friends who I was watching it with is like, oh, this is scripted. TSM's gonna win. They're just losing a couple games just to...
Yes, it's pity games, pity rounds. But what's kind of the thought? I mean, like, is TSM back? Like, are we back to the promised land of winning the LCS, then going 1-5?
You know what? I would have what's it called? On the first 2 games, I would have said like, oh, they're doing really great. But dropping that 3rd and 4th game, kind of just like, I don't know if they're gonna make it out of groups. It's not as promising as I was hoping. Which there's still a couple shining moments in that group 4. Like not group 4, in that game 4. Spica definitely showed up in game 4. The only reason the game was that long was because what we were joking and bashing on him last episode, he was actually able to get those smites off on those dragons, and But game 5, they definitely just stomped it, and they're kind of like, hey, what were we doing game 3 and 4?
Yeah. What I will say is I definitely do like how Broken Blade played all series. I mean, he had that one NA Jace game. Because if a North American player picks Jace, like, it's just an auto loss. Because North American players can't play Jace.
Not creative enough.
We can't play Jace, like, to save our lives. But I mean, he had 2 Camille games. I really wish
he really looked good on Camille.
Yeah, he looked really. Obviously, we have it pulled up, the Jace into Gangplank, which is not a good matchup for Jace.
I think it was, I don't remember exactly if it's game 3 or game 4, but he got ahead in Jace and he still did bad.
I think it was game. It probably was game 4 because Jace and the Orange a lot better of a matchup, and FlyQuest had the Electric Bear, and Pantheon. Wait, oh my god, I completely forgot about this draft. I'm gonna be honest. Because, like, Game 4 happened, and, like, I was just watching parts of it. Because, for those who don't know, what happened in Game 2 was Wild Turtle's power went out on his house. So he had to drive to, I believe, FlyQuest's facility to finish the series. Wow. Because he, like, completely lost power. Wow. Because of the rolling blackouts that happened in California.
Oh, my God.
But, what I will say, and what I do like, is that Broken Blade finally showed up. Mm-hmm. And was that complimentary star to Bjergsen. And that's huge for TSM.
Yeah.
Because now it's not Bjergsen in 4 wards. There's another player who could, like, do things, like, around the map and get his own advantages. Also, Spica played around topside.
Yeah.
This series.
Yeah, of course. Game 5, it was just like they were diving solo. It was bad to see. Like.
Yeah, and, you know... And like I said, I still think FlyQuest is going to be fine. Mm-hmm. But the thing, when the game became slow and like it was a drag-out fight, FlyQuest really showed their mettle and won those games. Mm-hmm. When the game got accelerated and Broken Blade could play on side lanes, he could find his own advantages. Bjergsen was roaming around the map, like they were accelerating the pace of the game. FlyQuest really struggled. Yeah. They really struggled in those games.
Yeah, I think it was game 1 where Speaker just had amazing dragon control and they were able to get it to Elder Drake. I think so.
Oh yeah, I think they got Elder really fast.
Yeah.
It also helped that. It also helped that FlyQuest decided to pick Victor in this game.
That might have helped it.
Which I play Victor, somewhat. I used to play him a ton. But Victor's not good right now. To all those who are listening out there, Victor is not good right now. He takes way too long to scale up. And again, like you said, TSM just completely accelerated the game to where Victor couldn't scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, props to TSM. They played Zillion, and then FlyQuest just said, no more Zillion.
Honestly,
I don't know why NA Zillion works. I really don't.
Zildo's just, like you were saying about the acceleration of the game. Zildo, he accelerates the game.
That's true. I mean, literally. I mean, because there are some times when, like, you sit back and you think, like, why Zillion... I don't know why. I believe FlyQuest just banned, like, Lucian almost every game. And, like, TSM has never played Lucian.
Well, they did play it on, I think it was the match before this. Broken Blade did
the team
play
like we won?
Yeah.
So I guess they were just petrified of Broken Blade's Lucian. That they would give Bjergsen his Zillion. You know what I mean?
I think every game after this, they did ban Zillion.
And like, it... I appreciate that TSM has found a formula, put Bjergsen on Zillion. It's a really comfort pick for him. But... when you look at Worlds, I don't think it's going to work as good as people think.
You don't think any teams are going to be banning Zillion against TSM?
I don't. They might, if they have something that they want to completely prioritize.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They might just ban it away from Bjergsen and say, you know what? You pick Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
If you want to play Twisted Fate, go on ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's very strange because, like, you're banning Zillion, but Bjergsen's, like, good at a bunch of other champions.
Right.
So it's like not like you let him play Zillion, which I guess I mean, you could have a big impact in the game, or you could let him play like another champion.
Right, but the big thing is, I believe Zillion was played once outside of NA in the playoffs, and that was by Fnatic against G2 in Game 2 of the finals. And what G2 did was they just found Zillion. Every time they saw him, they throw everything you can at that Zillion. Make him waste ult on himself.
Yeah.
Because if he burns ult on himself, that means we can kill everyone else. Because then they don't have a revive for the AD carry. So then you just kill the AD carry, kill Zillion again, and you know what I mean, you're good.
Yeah.
So I think that some teams are going to look at that and say, you know what, we don't want to deal with it, we're just going to ban it. I think other teams are going to see the Zillion and say, we can abuse this in lane.
Of course.
And we can just move around the maps to where Zillion can't roam. Because Zillion's not a roamer.
Yeah.
Twisted Fate's a roamer, really there are no other roaming mid laners left that people play. Because there used to be Talia, but then they removed her AoE because Riot.
And even then, what's it called? Well, like you said, you play Zillion because you really prioritize having someone else on your team get a resurrection.
Right.
And once again, it's Bjergsen and 4 wards, or they're starting to look better. But Doublelift, he was consistent throughout these playoffs, but it wasn't like he was playing those AD carries that were popping off and doing anything. So really, the Zillion ulti is just to get a member. It was for Broken Blade. It was for Broken Blade, or to get Spica up when he goes too aggressive, or he dies off, so that way we can have another person.
He picked the Zillion for Broken Blade or Spica. I mean, because Doublelift was pretty self-sufficient in this series.
Yeah.
And I think that's how TSM is going to try to go into Worlds and play. I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying that
people can definitely abuse it.
Teams are going to start to play around this and find out, okay, this is how we beat it. But it's their style, and I really appreciate that TSM has their own style going into Worlds. They say this.
They don't look lost.
Yeah, they don't look lost in the meta. They say this is our style. This is how we're going to play. And you know what? If this doesn't work, then and we can play around it if it doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's off meta, it's off the wall, but it works for them.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really appreciate, and that's why I don't think TSM is completely doomed in their group.
No, yeah, because in the other games it did show TF and Bjergsen Syndra, so it's not like that's the only style they can play.
Right. Right, especially because a lot of times Bjergsen may not even get Zillion in his games. So, but what I will say is no more Jace for Broken Blade. That champion is on. Should be on. That champion should be in a grave for Broken Blade. He should refund the champion on his thing. Never play Jace again. If you want to play an early game bully in lane, pick Renekton. Pick Renekton. I'm fine with Renekton, not Jace.
I was really he should pull a Spica where he was on the TL and he was like, listen, I'm not good at Olaf, I'll just stop picking Olaf, and then they won.
Or even if you pick Jace combo with no one in North America plays Zoe. And Zoe's busted, beyond belief.
Yeah. She's annoying.
Zoe, pick
Jace and Zoe and you get a poking team.
Right now for those, obviously you can't see us, but we have the Game 3 draft. It's pick not Twisted Fate, Zoe, Ezreal, and Jace. You have so much control around objectives because you have so much poke. Meaning you can even throw Yumi in there.
Yeah.
And Ezreal's fine into Senna because, they both want to scale, they both want to sit back and farm.
And the thing with these teams, you're picking Jace with these what's it called? Twisted Fate, you're not exactly going in, but I felt like they weren't using Jace to his potential. They weren't poking ahead of time.
Right.
They were kind of just, alright, Dragon's up, or Jace is teleporting in, he's coming in, he dies, alright, well, that's what we use Jace for.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You pick Jace to dominate a side lane and then rotate to objectives and poke them down so then you can secure it. Well, eventually Gangplank's going to start beating Jace in the side lane once Gangplank starts getting his items. And so I just think that TSM, but again, I think Broken Blade they probably could have picked something else for the top lane, because again, the rest of the comp's fine.
Yeah.
I just think if you want to pick the Jace, you need to pick other things with it, or just change it entirely.
Yeah.
Which they did. Well, they didn't do because in Game 4 they just picked Jace. And they realized, hey, let's not pick Jace anymore because we lost the 2 games we played Jace. Also, can we get my man Solo off of Gangplank duty, please? He played Gangplank like 3 out of the... Wait, let me check Game 2. Did he play Gangplank?
The stats don't load for Game 2, so strange.
Yeah, let me... I can just check right here. No, he played Ornn. He played Ornn and Gangplank all series.
Ooh.
And even then, Broken Blade played Jax. Like, play Jax!
Yeah, he certainly does look good on Jax. It's
Yeah,
like it's not like he doesn't have other champions he can play. Like he's being pigeonholed into Jace. He has a bunch of champions.
I don't know why you would show Jace. Like, why would you show Jace in that scenario? Like, you can just pick Jax, pick Camille, and if that doesn't work, I'm sure Broken Blade's Gangplank is fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Solo plays Ornn, play Gangplank.
Yeah.
It's a free lane because you can just constantly farm.
I don't know. Maybe he just had a bad performance on his 2 Jace games, but
and again, these are like minor draft issues with Broken Blade, but it's not like Broken Blade played bad in this series. I mean, his Camille was great.
oh yeah,
He popped off on Camille. I mean, just have him play Camille every game if it's not banned, because Jesus,
yeah.
he looked like Sunday out there on Jace.
He's probably just trying to show out for all his Asian friends.
Maybe he's probably trying to get a new contract. He's probably like, please TSM, give me Bjergsen's contract. They're like, no.
No one's gonna have TSM Bjergsen contract.
Right. So, just a quick update on some other news, and that have this just gonna be a quick little topic. Then we'll move to another topic here really quickly. So obviously for those. We read off the teams that made Worlds. SKT, obviously, most world champions ever in League of Legends, did not make it.
Sadly.
They were eliminated in the final round of play of their play-ins for their region's play-ins for Worlds. Eliminated by Genji 3-0. And some news had been breaking beforehand that Faker, obviously the superstar mid laner, and many people call him the GOAT of League of Legends.
Of course, everyone knows the name.
Yep. Has been in huge disputes with their coaching staff and management. So much so that like middle of the summer split, he was benched for I believe it was, I don't remember his name, but he was benched essentially. And obviously they lost. He was benched for closer. He's benched for closer. Which is hilarious because that, if you don't know, Closer is the name of an NA jungler. Which prevents an interesting subject because Faker was extended, I think for 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So do we potentially see SKT release Faker? Because Closer looked fine in his games. He looked really good. But do we see SKT potentially part ways with the GOAT of League?
A lot of money, I think, involved in this situation.
Right.
And I guess they ask themselves, is he worth the trouble?
Right.
If he's arguing with the coaches, that's certainly like, I think he has not. There might be an ego there where like he's gonna be arguing with the coaches, but he has the ego. Like it's Faker.
He's still Faker.
He deserves it.
It's not like he's been playing bad. He's still Faker.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
So like if he's having disputes, it's kind of like a thing. Can you recover from that? Will Faker ever like see the coaches good enough to like stop arguing with them?
Right.
And if he doesn't, well then you're gonna have to kick him, and that brings into the ideas like, well,
where does he go?
Where does he go? He's been offered a bunch of other contracts. Faker kind of had like this loyalty to SKT. Like a bunch of other players went to China or they went to other regions, and Faker's like, no, I'm gonna stay with SKT. I'm gonna be with SKT.
Right.
So it's kind of like,
where does SKT go without Faker?
Well, that's the interesting thing because obviously they still have Teddy. Teddy's still a really good AD carry. Although they played Gamma UC. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if you ever listen to this and I mispronounced your name. But he looked fine. Cuz has looked fine. Kana has looked like everyone's looked fine. Closer has looked really good, and then somewhat not good in the games that he's played. So I think it's interesting. I think that SKT is going to try and keep it all together. Maybe change some stuff on the coaching staff. Because at the end of the day, I think what they're saying is there's a bunch of coaches we can find in the league, but there's only one Faker.
Yeah.
There's only one Faker. We can find coaches that work with him. We can't find another Faker.
Yeah. And there's also the idea that might like maybe Faker's starting to like gain some wear and tear. I mean, how old is he?
He's probably in his like 20s, maybe mid like 20s.
Yeah. I mean, mid 20s is saying something for like an esports.
Yeah, like that's saying something.
Like,
but I think Faker will stay because I think that it's just hard to imagine SKT without Faker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though I don't know where he would go. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure,
it's not like he
I'm sure
wouldn't
teams
be offered.
Yeah, teams are gonna offer him the boatload. But what me and a friend of mine were saying is if TSM had lost some series, right, which obviously they didn't, but if they had done it, and then let's say Bjergsen maybe let's say he retires because he's old too. Yeah. Would TSM sign Faker?
Oh, of course. Reggie would give up all his money to get
Reddit
Faker.
Would literally explode if that happened.
TSM Faker would. It doesn't matter if TSM did good. It's just like
TSM Faker. Like, I can't even imagine the amount of
memes
that would happen and the sheer expectations that would happen if any team signs Faker that's not SKT.
No, yeah.
The expectations are through the roof. You know what I mean?
It goes to any team. I mean, it was pretty big news.
Absolutely, but I think we kind of all agreed that Faker's probably going to stay with T1.
I think so. I don't think so. No.
It's the loyalty at this point. If he's been with them this long, God, could he imagine himself anywhere else? And would he picture himself selling himself out if he went somewhere?
Right. I mean, he would need to either demand a trade or demand to be released from SK because he's still under contract.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he could probably demand to be released, or threaten to not play.
Yeah,
it's kind of like not comparing the two of them, but like Bjergsen, I don't really imagine him in any other team.
No, yeah, you
TSM.
can't really imagine Bjergsen anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, he's just been on TSM for so long. You know what I mean? So, sorry, Faker, you kind of have to stay with SKT.
Argue with your coach all you want.
Yeah, argue with your coach, but you're probably
going
to
stay.
stay.
Day, come on, what does the coach really have to say?
Yeah.
Faker.
It's Faker. I mean, Faker could probably say, "Shut up," and coach is like, "Yes, sir."
I'm the boss here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wanted to say something, Paul? Just kind of wrap this up.
Yeah. I think Faker needs to stay with his team. He needs to see this through till the team's demise.
True. So,
that's all I gotta say about that.
All right. Well, as I'm still awaiting my lights to come in, because I'm still waiting for lights to put around my desk, because who knows, the place I bought it from is probably on fire. Something like that. Do you boys do anything whenever you want to sit down, play some League with the boys? Is there anything that you got to put yourself in the mood? I know the mood. Because God, you need to do that for League now. Is there anything that you guys do in preparation for that?
Man, I do things I can't say on microphone. I like to listen to some music. My buds. We put on the Groovy Bot in the Discord.
Right.
And we get some Mongolian folk in there.
Mongolian throat singing.
Mongolian throat singing.
Some throat singing, but actually a lot of like Tibetan stuff.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
You're trying to reach enlightenment while you're playing League. I feel that.
Yeah, like my buddy, his name's Ben. He puts on the Sri Lankan like you're saying, enlightenment type of music.
Right.
Play Sin,
Your third eye opens.
Yeah.
Your third eye opens so you can see the fastest way to die.
Man, I haven't played League yet with my third eye open, but I really want to try that. I'm
Play,
worried it'll be a little stressful though.
What's it called? What's that one eye champion?
Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz do the geometry, hit every single.
You see the fastest way to die. I see it now.
It's like Power People playing Victor.
Yeah, he's like, I see it. I see the champion guy. It starts with a V. This team's like Vel'Koz. Vel'Koz is pretty. No, Victor. I don't know. I just can. I'm kind of weird. I can just kind of sit down and just go. You know what I mean?
You not listening to music?
Sometimes. If I'm playing by myself, I will. But I can't really do that when I'm with friends.
Yeah.
But if I do it by myself, I'll either just have my headphones on and have my AirPods instead of my headphones, or like in my Discord, I have like a room that I just call my office. So I just go in there, bring the Groovy Bot in, and I have like an entire YouTube playlist that I just shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
of like lead music or just like a playlist.
Just music. Like it's a fucked up mix of shit that like it does not go well together.
No.
But I enjoy it.
It's okay. Variety.
Yeah, I don't.
Variety spice.
Yeah, I'm not like there are people that I know that I just put on lo-fi hip hop beats and like you white person. White people can't do anything with that. Like if they try to do anything without lo-fi hip hop beats, they get like Thanos snapped. Like they just turn to dust.
Not existent.
Like
Right,
no, like I'm serious. Like I walk around campus and people just have lo-fi hip hop pulled up on their laptop. I'm like, God, like.
This is
People like their elevator music.
Yeah, like, and I'm like, it's just like you have your phone. Don't you have like Spotify or Apple Music? Can't you just? People are like, I really like it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, now gotta have that one on, you know.
Yeah, like you just have it in the corner. Have like, it could be destroying your GPU on your MacBook Pro, but hey, you gotta have your lo-fi hip hop beats. Yeah, but I've been trying to get lights up because I do think I don't think like gaming in like the dark is I don't really like that.
No?
You get too spooked, too scared.
No,
Scaredy cat.
No, I'm not spooked, but like I don't know. It just feels a lot different when you're like sitting like in like pitch
You
black.
have those rainbow lights illuminating your face.
Yeah, like they're behind me,
Oh.
so that like because my desk is right there, so they're all behind me, and plus like. But I don't like playing in like the bright lights. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on?
Definitely not.
You know what I mean? But like a nice dim light.
Mm.
I mean, just kind of like, and especially like when it's like dark outside and like, there's no real light coming in. Like the only source like your laptop, your or your computer, your monitors, and then your whatever other light source you have. I think that like. I don't know, it gives you some sort of weird placebo power. Like I just feel like I can do more.
Yeah.
You let your true gamer out.
Do you guys ever do that where like you just feel like, okay, I did this, gamer mode activated, like
Right after I take a shit, dude.
yeah, it's like, all right, guys, gamer mode.
Yeah.
Like
Nothing's impeding me now,
yeah,
once I let it go.
There's nothing that's standing in my way. I don't have to defecate from any orifice. Like
Yeah.
I'm just ready to go.
My bowels have been gone.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to talk when we talk about relieving ourselves
Yeah.
in the middle of the night.
Let's cut it.
So, see you guys next week. This is the art of running it down. Signing off.
I know.